Power in the illusion carries a high price. And it isn't just the old war games that have been going on for lifetimes. But as the energy shifts, as things are more subtle, when it isn't just about throwing energy around to prove power, but when it is, dearly beloved masters, from the very depth of your soul, recognizing, feeling the sustaining ability of your own sense of your power. And power is not about dominance and control. That is how the old order has been. That is how the ego has programmed human psyche for lifetimes. And it is that true power is so clear, so calm, so aligned, connected within self, that the reactions of the emotional nature become less and less a part of the daily life. Reacting to what others say, reacting to what others do, reacting very often based on old formulas that are so antiquated that in the technology of the 21st century, it's almost as though there are many who are still wanting to fight their battles dressed in armor, carrying a shield and a battle axe. Old, heavy, slow, reactive, hand-to-hand combat. And the clearer you are with yourself, the more you value yourself, the less there is to react to. Because as you own your power, the necessity to tell others how powerful you are, the necessity to demonstrate how powerful you are, simply begins to melt away in the love, in the unity, in the harmony, in the clarity of owning self truly. The power games of the illusion dominance, control, creating fear, threatening people's lives and livelihood. And yes, beloved masters, these times are a test of personal integrity because it takes great courage to say no. It takes great courage to say, yes, I stand with the alignment for the highest good of all concerned. And what is emerging out of the old conflicted mass of illusion is how far humanity has come from the willingness, the inner knowing, to make powerful, positive choices, even, yes, if it frightens you. Because there is a difference between all of the formula orientation of the illusion. This is what you do, this is what you don't do. And it's supposed to be so simple, except, beloved masters, humanity is really beginning to become more and more aware of the energy of simply sitting by and not acting. Everyone requires to mute, please. So it is. Sitting by and not taking action. And when we say action, it isn't about the need to make others do what they're supposed to. What I'm talking about, dearly beloved masters, is following your own internal conviction. Because the power of illusion has always been the force, the manipulation, the control to make other people comply with my wishes. To convince them that they are wrong. And if they won't change, to shame them, to intimidate, to shun, to undermine their foundation. But the power in the world is out of focus, so it's not paying attention to how the energy of others feels. So power in the world takes a lot of energy, because if someone is going to keep others under threat or intimidation or fear, then they also are constantly exposed to the toxic energy of attempting to impose that which limits the will of others upon them. What goes around comes around. What you sow, ye shall reap. What you are broadcasting energetically to others that stems from your own fear, your own neglect, your own dread, and trying to make the world be a better place by forcing other people to live in a way that you won't. It is the price of that elusive power in the world is being revealed, revelation, for just how high it is. The enjoyment of the discomfort, of the displeasure, of the worry and fear, of the chaos that is brought about by the old power games. And the necessity to notice within yourself that those old games are really uncomfortable. They're as uncomfortable for you as they are for others. And yes, there are many around the world that are so disconnected from their own self-awareness, self-understanding. They are so out of focus that they are divorced from who they are. And in the moment, the intimidator, one of the 4 control games, seems to be moving to the heights all around the world. People in places of power who have absolutely no respect or understanding of what that position in the world means. High-profile individuals all around the world who are playing the same old exhausting power games, and the disconnect from compassion, from at-one-ment, makes them believe that they actually have a lot more power than they do. But it takes you individually, to find your true self within to discover your strength, your capability, and very often, beloved masters, the strongest people are saying the least. Because as you find that connection within yourself, it is almost as though that discovery connects you to power that you had no idea you possessed. And as you connect to that inner power, dearly beloved masters, it's almost as though a mechanism in your soul center says, shh, quiet. Listen. Feel. Pay attention to what keeps triggering your reactions. Find not just an intellectual scan across the surface, well, I don't find anything, or this is what bothers me, but to go deep within yourself. Follow the tendency to be afraid. Follow the threads of reaction. Follow them deep within yourself to the place where you connect with serenity, tranquility, empowerment, self-awareness of the highest order. It's high technology, beloved masters, but it's very refined. It is the technology of connecting to things that are coming in from the galactic center. And it's personal technology. Oh yes, the outer technology is amazing. And it's changing very fast because there are brilliant minds that can come up with new ways to shift the technology just enough that what was very viable a year ago, 6 months ago, is now outmoded. So as you look out into the technology of the world with computers and cell phones and so many other things that the technology is being dedicated to, bigger, faster, more devastating weapons. There are those that are dedicated to refining what they have called mind control. And that statement, those two words, can strike such terror in humanity. And yet, beloved masters, revelation is bringing you home, calling you home to your divine connection with free will. Free will. The more you are willing to connect within yourself, the more freedom you feel. And it isn't a freedom that has to do with being freer than someone else. Your personal sense of freedom allows you to recognize space that is yours. Not an ownership, but an ability to utilize, definitely. In the illusion, ownership is such a basis for conflict all over the planet. And it has been basis for cruel wars of all kinds, over land, over territory, over home space, over relationships, over business dealings, over who has the right to be in control. So the price of the power of the illusion is excessively high. It can take away one's health, one's wealth, one's well-being, and so much of that really doesn't have to do with feeling powerful or more powerful than others. For the vast majority, it's not feeling powerful, feeling less powerful than others, feeling incapable of success or incapable of making choices, at least wise ones. But the energy that revelation is revealing to each individual on the planet this is who you really are. It's almost as though, as you connect to the power within, the need to prove you're powerful becomes laughable. As you recognize your mastery, it isn't about a brutal imposition on others to demonstrate that you're powerful. It is about a calm, clear calling within yourself a wake-up call, if you would, a clarion call for some, that remembers you to who you truly are. And it isn't an intellectual process. It is as though pieces of a puzzle within yourself fall into place. It may be a series of energetic shifts that you feel like chills on the body, or like a clearing, a calming in the soul center, a sense of alignment that almost unconsciously you sit up or stand straighter, because as you remember, as you awaken, as you get in touch with your personal power, you also remember this is magnificent. This is real. And we talk about the illusion, and the finite mind says, the master is obviously quite out of his mind, because when you look out there and this and this and this are happening, it isn't about saying they're not. And we are not telling you to say they're not. That's delusional. Illusional, delusional. It isn't about denial. God knows humanity's denied enough things throughout the illusion. But to own your power is not a doing thing. You can't plan it. Simply, beloved masters, because how it comes to each person is so exquisitely, uniquely individual. Plans are a one-size-fits-all, and more often than not, plans are, as I'm deciding how I want my life to be, then my husband, my wife, my partner, my children, my parents, my friends, all have to be this way. They have to act a certain way, say certain things, do certain things. And that is the foundation of snobbery, of separation, of judgment. Judgment. They're not doing the right thing. What is the right thing? Well, you know the right thing. I am familiar with the words, but it is, beloved master. What does the right thing mean to you? And if that is indeed the right thing, are you personally comfortable investing your energy in that choice. Because the paradigms are shifting on the planet. How things have been are not any longer. And human nature has been, when there is change, I'll just sit and watch. I'll watch and see what's happening. If I like how it looks, if it appears to have a positive outcome, then maybe I'll follow that. But when you are attempting to make intellectual choices in a world that is being directed by chaos, there is chaos everywhere. And the logical mind can just spend a lot of energetic time trying to figure out who's to blame, who's at fault. Is there a conspiracy? Is there some terrible plan to destroy the human race? No, beloved masters. But how it has been so conveniently for so long, how it has been is no longer working. The foundations of the old order are developing cataclysmic cracks. And that calls each individual to come home, to find your own inner foundation. Energetically, where do I stand with myself? It isn't about taking sides. It is about making the choice to connect within, to hear the wisdom of the divine, the still small voice of God. And it's called the still small voice, but I can assure you, beloved masters, even though God speaks quietly and is not going to engage in a shouting match with your ego, when Spirit speaks, it is as though it booms through you, even though it's quiet. Because energetically it gets your attention.